Alright. We're just going to go ahead and go with this. But I'm going to burn that clump of solder out of there.
With this, which is not
just like
a stripper, but just cutting in just slightly into the jacket.
Alright.
And trying to pull it.
And got it off that base. I don't know if you can see that. And we're going to retry.
Alright. And this wire has a braid on it, so kind of twist the braid.
And if that's not it, then I've screwed something else up.
That's going to be a ground.
And there you have it.
So it's all kind of a mess. You need to get those together. And you can make sure there's nothing left.
Too
Get
cool.
all those braided wires off of this connection. And twist it. Again, I twist.
Okay, I gotta back it up.
This way.
I don't know what I'm needing.
Connector over here. It's labeled number 7. Try to see these little numbers. Oh, 7 is all the way over here in the corner. Be able to hear that thing beat. Or a smaller wire. So I didn't bring the correct strippers to you to put your red and your blue wires back in your wire bag.
Alright.
Here's your wire. And go back to that chassis hardware bag. This time, I want you to take out one of the gray RCA wires, RCA plug wires. Okay, it has an RCA connector on one side, and the other side just needs to be stripped and connected. Okay. It's an audio wire, but not to be confused with these other audio wires that you have this standard headphone jack on it. Okay. And all of the ones I sent you guys are gray. So we need to strip this wire. Now, I didn't bring the correct strippers. This is actually for a smaller wire. So I didn't bring the correct strippers to strip this, so I'm going to have to be very careful, and I'm going to try and do it with this, which is not normally a stripper, but just cutting in just slightly into the jacket. Alright. And then trying to pull it. Sometimes that works. This wire has a braid on it, so kind of twist the braid off. That's going to be the ground. So this is all kind of a mess. You need to get those together. You need to make sure there's none left. So get all those braided wires off of this connection. And twist it. Again, I twist clockwise.
Me too.
So as we twist it, it's becoming a little more organized. Twist it good. Okay. Now we have something. I'm going to strip this back a little bit further though. Okay, so we have a little more wire to work with. So do the same thing. Just go back a little further. That's because they didn't have the right strippers. So let's cut that off and try again. Go back to here. Just
Okay, I assume I need to strip that.
Just check. Make sure you have the right strippers. Do you guys have the right? Is this when you do it? I'll tell you what to do. Now this wire will probably strip with my other stripper this line. Wire stripping adventures. Okay. audio wire with an RCA connector on it that we can connect up to, let's pull this module out for the moment, to pins, if you remember, this part, the signal, goes to pin 6. Alright? Well, let's see if we can find 6. It's right there. So, we'll put that under the pin 6 screw connector right there. Every electronic circuit has to have 2 wires. The other wire in this case is the ground, and of course it's on the complete other side of the socket, and that's why we've got this extra wire there. This one is going to go under that terminal right there, the ground terminal. Along with this ground wire from the power connector. So get out of there. There's a couple ways of doing this. You do this the way I'm doing this right now, which is
now
not
what?
the normal way I do it. But you can also do it. You can add a little wire to this. You don't have to try and get it all from this one wire. But let's see if I can get there. Okay, that's good. That's there. All right. So now we have an audio connection coming out of pin 6 and ground. So theoretically, if we hook this up to an amplifier, we'll get a tone when we push that button. It's time to get out the amplifier. The little amplifier that came with your kit. It's in that box. Looks like it's got a volume control on it, bass, treble, and balance. So we're going to work with it with the volume sort of like midway, bass and treble all the way up, and the balance right in the middle. Okay, but the important thing right now is what we're going to do to the backside. See, because this audio wire is going to plug into one of these connectors. Stereo, the amplifier is stereo, but we're only going to use one side, and we're also going to connect the speaker to the corresponding speaker connections for the input that we're going to use. And to make this work, we're also going to have to put power on there, and that uses 12 volts as well. So we're going to have to tap off of the power that's coming in to our module and go into our amplifier. Back to the chassis hardware bag, we're going to find the power connector for the little amplifier. Okay. In this case, in this bag, and some of you will have a power connector that looks like that. It's got the exact same connector on it that you see coming in from the 12-volt supply. See? Now, some of you have one like this that has 2 little screws on it that you can hook your own wires to, and some of you have one of these that already has a wire on it. So don't let it throw you. Here's what this power connector looks like if it's already got the wire on it. Okay, so if you already have a wire on your power connector, don't cut it at all. Just strip it. Okay, just strip it back a little bit. Each of the 2 wires, if they're not already stripped. So that we can connect them to the 12 volts. Alright. So if you have one like this, you got to put the wires on it. If you have one that's already got the wire on it, you may only have to strip the wires. Okay? as usual, let's put all of the hardware back in the hardware bag, chassis hardware, so we don't lose it. It doesn't go in there. Zip it up. Let's get a couple of wires out for this. Go back to our wire bag. And you guess what color wires we're going to want?
Blue and red.
Red.
Hey, David, what you doing?
Okay, let's make the wires, about 3 or 4 inches long. This fits. Okay, let's get lucky. Checker. Positive. Okay. I didn't know that. So I just confirmed. what we see. So we got that in there. Nice and tight. It's not too bad. Let's do the other one. It's a little better. Well, here's where our 12 volts comes in. And the positives on that side and the negatives over there. So whether or not we've got this wire, this kind of wire, or this kind of wire to connect, we're going to connect the positive to there. Now which one of these two, if you've got this wire, which one of these two is the positive? Well, the only way I know how to tell is the same way I was able to tell with the other one. And that's to use a continuity checker. So if you've got one like this, you put one end of your continuity checker right on the ground terminal. See, if you touch that, it'll beep. Let's see which one of these 2 wires over here is connected to it. Okay, it's this one, right here. That's the ground. Let's see if I can tell you anything about that ground wire. Well, it's the one that does not have the dashed lines. If you look really close at your wires, you'll see dashed lines, if you have the same kind of wire I have. If you don't, you're still going to have to depend on your continuity checker. So that means, for example, if I were to push this inside here into the positive end, that would be the positive side. So make sure you hook your positive to positive and ground to ground. And if you're not sure, don't do anything until you write me or call me so I can explain to you a little bit better. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Right now, we're going to use one of these. We can use this one. If we use this one, we'd hook the red here and the ground over on the other side. And that would be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and use this wire. Okay, just because it's got a little longer wire on it. It kind of gives us more to play with. And I'm just going to take a little more off of there. Twist it. I always say clockwise. And as we determined before, which one of these is positive?
Alright, I gotta find my voltmeter.